Hello, and you're Shanko, and this is my map, Temple of the Lost. Um, so let's get into it. The story of this map is that it's setting of it really is that it's in some jungle in South America, and there's a civilization that learned how to control the undead, or there's a rumor of it such based on such. And Horizon, obviously with their zombie problem, sent the not players, a science team to investigate. They were clearly murdered, and their camp in ruined. And so when the team never came back, Horizon sent their mercenary team. So this is one of the main hiding positions of the exterior area of the and it's the ruined courtyard. There's a lot of entrances and exits for zombies to just walk over through. That guy's kind of struggling right there. I don't know why. I'm probably have to iterate on that later. But it's generally a place where players can just run around these rocks. And while zombies can run over it, it's just the space, the size, and just the plots that you can jump up on to kind of escape. I don't know if that one is this one. Kind of adds like a fun kiting element that I thought was needed in this map. And it also has the benefit perk of having, if you had teammates, being able to have Overwatch from this defensive position where players can just shoot down. Like that, just like that if a player was also there kiting. This is one of the defensive positions, the ledge. It has two staircases, two entrances, and it's not. It hasn't been changed much from the previous one, except maybe some foliage movement, change line of sight, and not much has changed from the waterfall defensive position either, aside from the widening up the passage because the zombies got caught on it a lot, and the existence of those trees right there, so it's a bit more difficult to just snipe the zombies while they're walking in over to you. And the existence of a zombie spawn right behind me, which desirability is very low until like a player's like right here, so that kind of helps with dislodging the players due to how long players are able to just stay here and not do anything. Well, not doing anything, but just like to stay here and hunker down, and only get really being moved if there's like 2 flesh pounds or 3 flesh pounds. The third defensive position on the exterior, which is over there, has not been changed much either. I just added more foliage, and the foliage over there prevents when the zombies spawn over there for the players from just sniping from this position as well again, with the rocks covering the way. And also ended an ammo pickup due to, while it is a relatively easy place to hold, the punishment for just being forced down is a drop down that takes 30 damage, and it's not the best feeling ever. So to kind of give the benefit, not the benefit of that, but kind of give the players a sense of that that place is worth to defend. What has some value is the ammo pickup as well. As you notice, if you notice, that area has been completely landslided. I just basically removed that from the portion of the map because it didn't really add much to the overall layout, and it was just empty space. So removing that was a pretty nice way to shrink the map down, and that's good stuff. And yeah, I also added this thick bridge, or this thickness, so that it's not just you can't just run around all across the moat. As you can see. And if I go all the way over here, actually, take to the left, there is a entrance for the players, or a staircase for the players to go up into the ruins, and enter to the left actually. Well, the zombie search gonna just chase me. Zombie spawners are generally like, if you're around this area and even in the middle area, they're gonna spawn on the outside. The ruined zombies only really spawn if you're close to the ruins. Very close to the ruins, I guess. Oh no, he's just not gonna. Let's go to the ruins.
Save me! Save me! Ow, water!
Another ammo pickup for players. This was meant to be more of an escape path for players. So as they're running and escaping, they're like, "Oh, I don't have any ammo," and stuff. But as they're running up, they can grab a quick one.
Like an archer at Agincourt.
Oh god. So this is the garden that was better improved. The rubble and the walls are a bit bigger so that players can't just shoot over. It's much more difficult for players to see any zombies coming. But at the same time, the width of it kind of makes it easier for players to kite around.
Must reload.
Like so.
You feel us now.
And there's more foliage onto the right that kind of leads a path in. And I added a third path with changing the terrain texture so players can just move in. There used to be, I initially planned for there to be more of a watchtower-esque place here, but I deemed that to be a bit too many high ground positions where players can just snipe down onto zombies.
One piece at a time.
And this place is mainly just used for for the CQC people, where they just hold this one area, and maybe a berserker and a firebug just holding here, this one position, and if you got a quick escape, you can just run down here. This courtyard has more rubble and disruptions of movement, so that players have a more distinct kind of choice in where they go. The biggest area where I made the most changes was the ruins itself. Let's get some money. Ammo. Let's get the trader. Let's go to the ruins to show what I mean. Right here, as you can see, there's a blind spot right here, but I widened up the staircase so that zombies can easily go through. And there's this ledge right here where players can shoot down as zombies are moving up into this altar room. And this altar room is a pretty good zombie train where players can shoot down onto the area down there, while at the same time just running a zombie train, running around these sepulchres or these coffins like so, and just kite around the zombies while still holding a defense position. If I had more players or teammates, it'd be easier to be like a couple guys here preventing zombies from coming up, a guy in the back watching those two entrances. It's not the easiest defense position, but it allows for players to just, the ruins are basically you just players to run around, kite the zombies, and have like these sharp turns where they don't know which zombie are gonna come out of. Another sharp turn here. The ledge is showing outside. If the zombies were coming out, they could still shoot them. Also, this ledge over there can provide overwatch to players who are in the altar room. So a lot of my design choices from the defense positions and the exterior and the positions here, I wanted to have players be able to provide cover for each other even if they're far apart in at least some manner. Like if players were here, they could hold down this area from shooting and shoot zombies coming in. Have a player here watching the ledge, provide cover for the altar room maybe, and just have a player here so they can just shoot down onto zombies who are coming up. Oh god, I'm done. The rubble here, it's not best easiest place for zombies to go. It's more of a place where kind of give player respite. And
don't let her
scream. Oh, that went badly. The garden here has a trader pod, so it kind of leads the player to the left and leads them to this path, which also still has a dirt texture. I added the terrain textures to indicate, be more indicative of players. negative to players where they can go.
Siren, you know what to do.
Oh god, that's not good.
Yes. My
And
ears.
another really nice part about this kind of like foliage path is that it's meant to be escape. When players escape through here, they won't know if there's really until they turn the slight corner if there's going to be a zombie or not. It also acts as a blind spot for both zombies and for players.
Oh, my head clangs.
Where's the last one? Ah, right there. Because he's a bloat. Yeah, one of the most difficult parts I had about this map was the relative shrinking of it. I solved that with the landslide and adding a lot of props to kind of diversify player movement. I kind of densed up that foliage right there, so players can make a choice to go to the left or right. Originally the ruins were like super, like had a sense of fatigue. It was, I just meant to be, it's not it was pretty symmetrical, and it was only just like degradation that prevented players from accessing certain areas. But but it just didn't have a significant amount of choice for the players, so that's why I added that staircase and have it be not asymmetrical. The kiting aspect basically leads players to different rooms and experience kind of different play styles. Yeah, and that's about it. That's the most I changed. Add more foliage and props so I can fill out the map more and give a better feeling of have just more areas of interest, which was the moat, the waterfalls, and these dead bodies to kind of get the flavor and theming of the map. Alright, that's about it. I plan to kind of iterate more on this level due to the problems with the lighting and some odd texture misplacements and cracks. The zombie spawns are generally much more fixed. If you're on the outside, zombies will definitely spawn more on the outside, and they won't spawn near the ruins.
My aim is true.
Aside from the ones like, but zombie spawns right there and there, which are covered by the foliage. If players are on the right here, like on the first level, and this was so that the player does get kind of surrounded, and it has to kind of make a choice on where you can escape. Generally, players would go up there, or use the moat as a quick escape to dodge the incoming zombies, because there's no easy path for the zombies to go down into this moat, except that staircase over there. But once you make it here, it's a quite long distance, and players have a pretty good line of sight to just snipe them here. The only problem that this is in a defense position is that zombies can come from that side, so it's not the best. Oh, it loads. But yeah, that is my level. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to iterate on this more and fix the lighting.